Okay, problem number 4. Problem number 4 says that 4 chefs require 10 minutes to prepare 20 desserts. At this rate, how many chefs are needed to prepare 75 desserts in 15 minutes? Alright, so I'll give you a hint first. One thing to note is that the chefs are all working at the same rate on an individual basis. So each individual chef works at the same rate, no matter how many chefs are working. So knowing that, one way you might approach it is to figure out how many desserts per minute can one chef make. And then once you have that, you can find out how many desserts one chef can make in 15 minutes, and then you can find out how many chefs it would take to make 75 desserts in 15 minutes. Okay? So that's the hint I have, is to think in terms of the rate for one chef, and then build it back up to figure out how many chefs would be able to prepare 75 desserts in 15 minutes. Okay? So, pause the video if you would like to work on it some more, because I'm going to give you the solution now. Okay, so let me write down first of all what we know. And I guess I gotta pick up a pen. Alright, so we know that 4 chefs require 10 minutes to prepare 20 desserts. So I'm actually going to write that as, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm going to write that as 20 desserts per for 10 minutes. Okay? And if we calculate that, we calculate the rate for 4 chefs. Okay, I'm going to make a little colon here. Then 4 chefs work at a rate of 2 desserts per minute. Okay? Alright, so that's 4 chefs. Let's take a look at what's the rate for 1 chef. So if 4 chefs can prepare 2 desserts per minute, then 1 chef can prepare essentially a quarter of that, which would be 1/2 of a dessert per minute. Okay? So that's 1 chef. Okay, so now that we have that, let's figure out for 1 chef how many could they prepare in 15 minutes. So half of a dessert per minute is the same as 7.5 desserts in 15 minutes. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is multiplying the top and well, if I had written this differently, maybe it'd make more sense. I'm going to rewrite this this way. So this is half of a dessert in 1 minute. That's just another way of writing half of a dessert per minute. Okay, so if I multiply top and bottom by 15, which will give us 15 minutes on the bottom, that'll give us how many desserts 1 chef could prepare in 15 minutes. Okay, but we want to figure out how many chefs can prepare 75 desserts in 15 minutes. And if one chef can prepare 7.5 desserts in 15 minutes, then essentially we need 10 chefs. We need 10 times that many to get 75. So 10 chefs can prepare 75 desserts in 15 minutes. So that's our answer. 10 chefs is what we need. Okay? And, as always, there's more than one way to look at this problem. I gave this to the students in my class, and this is another way that that a couple of the students approached it. They basically made a little table. So we have chefs, and we have desserts, and we have minutes. Okay? And so we know that 4 chefs can make 20 desserts in 10 minutes. And we want to find out how many chefs it will take to prepare 75 desserts in 15 minutes. Okay? So 4 chefs are essentially working at a rate of 2 desserts per minute. Okay? And here we want to get 75 divided by 15 is 5. So we want a rate of 5 desserts per minute. Okay, and we want to know how many chefs it'll take to get there. And if we know that the rate for one chef is the same no matter what, then we know that the desserts per minute per chef is the same. So we could write this as a ratio. It's 2 desserts per minute. I'm going to abbreviate it. For 4 chefs. Okay, that's the desserts per minute per chef. Has to be equal to 5 desserts per minute for, I'm going to say, X chefs. And then all we have to do is solve for X. And it's just a simple ratio problem then. We can cross multiply, or you can think of it as multiplying both sides by 4 to get rid of the 4 on the bottom, and both sides by X. But if we cross multiply, we'll get 2x is equal to 20. Okay, so that's 2 times x, and 4 times 5 gives you 20. And so x, which is the number of chefs, this is x with our question mark here. So x is the number of chefs, so x is equal to 10. So that's the number of chefs it takes. Okay. So you decide which way, I guess, like I said before, it helps to have a lot of different tools to solve problems, because problems don't always have a clear way of approaching them. You have to use your brain, and it helps to have as many tools as possible at your disposal to help you solve the problem. So you can approach this either way. I think really both of them are, there's, in this particular case, there isn't really, one isn't necessarily easier than the other. So take your choice.